Hello everybody, how are you doing today? I hope everyone is fine. It's middle of June today and we're gonna be harvesting potatoes. Let's go. Okay, so I have my station ready. As always, there's a wheelbarrow, pot of potatoes and a bucket to collect the potatoes. I have 7 pots like that left to harvest. They all gonna go today. As you can see, there's no green left almost. The plant is done, so it's not gonna do anymore. So we can do some harvesting. Let's go. There is nothing to it really. I'm just gonna remove the top growth. I don't need that anymore. Let me put it on the side, some stray weeds, and just tip the container into a wheelbarrow and we'll see what we're gonna get. Oh well, that's not bad. It's a nice sign. I'm surprised that the compost is still quite moist at the bottom of the pot. From the top of it, it looks completely dry. But we are getting plenty lovely potatoes. I was a bit worried after my last potato harvest. I don't know if you saw that video. It was the pot with the potato plant that was dying prematurely, but I still got quite a nice harvest. But these ones are definitely better already. There's all sorts, small sizes, normal, medium sizes. Growing potatoes in pots, I wouldn't expect any giant potatoes. There's not enough space for them to grow. Even there was a earthworm in the compost that can go in the garden now. So that's it for the first container. It's not bad really. Hope the camera is picking it up inside. So let me try to do 6 more of them. Before I do that though, I'm gonna be reusing this compost to plant another lot of potatoes for the later autumn harvest. I'm not gonna make you watch all of this. I'm sure you've seen it on the previous videos. If not, I'm gonna put a card somewhere here. You can watch it. All I'm gonna do is just mix in some chicken bedding in this compost, put it back in a pot, plant some potato seeds, sweet potatoes, and take it back to the original place when they were growing next to my greenhouse. So yeah, I'll see you back in a second when I bring the second pot. Okay, so I have my second pot ready to harvest. Let me get you a bit closer here so you can have a better view. This is much better, isn't it? More exciting, closer view. So let's have a look what's hiding in this one now. Well, I think we are getting there. Those are lovely as well. Clean, not much cleaning to do on them. That's the beauty of growing in pure compost. As I was saying previously with the previous harvest, this is very, very rough compost. It's still all sticks and not fully composted matter, but it doesn't bother the potatoes. They grow quite well in it. That's a beauty. Well, this pot was much better. It was standing more in the shady side of the of my potato station. Probably it was drying out much slower than the rest. At the beginning of the season, I planted 2 seed potatoes per each pot, 8 of them altogether. I mean 8 pots, so that's 16 seed potatoes. Growing potatoes like that, it's a great idea. You're getting much earlier crop than the potatoes grown in the ground. It's not going to be as big as of a crop as the one grown in the ground, but the soil or compost in the pot warms up much quicker, so you're getting quicker harvest. The only drawback is you need to water it constantly. So this is the harvest from the second pot. As I said, there's quite a few nice one, couple of smallish one. That's a good harvest. And now on to the third pot of treasure. Let's see what this one is hiding. It's a great fun harvesting potatoes. One of my favorite things in the garden. You never know what you're gonna find. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but almost always you're getting something. Just wanted to show you something. I'm getting some of the tubers like that. Looks like they split or something. It's not actually a split. They were just growing along the sticks that are still in the compost, but they are perfectly fine. Just slightly wonky shape. I think they are cool anyway. To be honest, I wasn't expecting that good of a harvest from those pots with my holidays and stuff. I wasn't keeping up with the watering, but seems like I'm doing quite well still. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. It's roughly the same amount of potatoes from each pot. I'm gonna put a weight on the screen somewhere here. I would say that's 2 to 3 kilos per pot, which is not bad considering it's an early crop. I think I'm roughly getting about 3 kilograms of potatoes per each pot, which is not bad considering it's an early crop. And I'm still gonna get a second harvest out of these pots. So I harvested 3 pots already. That's the 4th one. I should be getting to my red potatoes. So let's have a look what we'll find in this one. The red potatoes are usually my main crop. They're growing in the ground as well currently. But let's see what we're gonna get in a pot. No, that's still the white potatoes. I'm sure the next pot gonna be the red ones. I think I mentioned that before. This is all my homemade compost from last year. It only had a couple of months in the winter to decompose. That's why it's still quite rough. But as I said, it doesn't seem like the potatoes are worried about that much. They're all growing quite well. Can't see any damage on them as well, so that's a good sign. Okay, this one was actually probably the best harvest of the white potatoes. Let's put them all in one bucket, so we'll see. Right, this one here must be the red potatoes. I have only 3 pots left, so all 3 of them have to be the red variety. Let's have a look what we have here. Well, we do have potatoes, but as I said, usually they are main crop, so they don't grow that big in containers. Not that small as well. All mixture, looks like. That's a proper size, actually. I'm surprised. Yeah, I think that's all. It does feel heavier than the white potato harvest, but that's what it is. Okay, we are almost there. It's much sweatier job than I expected. I have 2 more pots left. They all should be red potatoes. Let me grab the bucket. So those are the potatoes from the first pot of red potatoes. Let's see what we have in this one. Not bad. That potato pot and the last one, I placed them at the edge of the garden under the huge willow tree. So they were mostly in shade. I don't think they dried out that much during the growing season. But on the other hand, they were getting much less sunlight. But looks like it's a similar harvest. So let me grab the last one and then I'll show you how much I got all together. So we have our last plant. It's still kind of growing, but most of it is dying, so there's no point waiting for it anymore. Okay, so let's find out what's hiding in this one. This one is definitely the heaviest, probably the most amount of compost I put in this one. And there's an ant nest. There's plenty of ants here. I hope that small GoPro gonna pick up the ants. It's not the friendliest bunch, but never mind, I have my gloves. There's an earthworm getting attacked by the ants. It can go in the garden. Any of you guys is getting all this plastic in the compost? Where is it coming from? I don't understand this. It's like everywhere. So I think that's all for my first early potato harvest. It's almost full bucket of red potatoes. And almost the same with the white potatoes. I'm gonna weigh it later on and put the weight on the screen so you'll see. So remember that's 7 pots altogether. Now, as I said, I'm just gonna refill this pot, the last one, top all of them up with the chicken bedding and plant the seed potatoes, but no, I'm not gonna make you watch this. I'm sure you've seen it before. The only thing is I want to show you my seed potatoes because it's a nice surprise for me as well. So we are here in my veggie area. As you can see, everything is growing like crazy. I'm not sure if you have been watching my videos from the spring, but I was finding lots of volunteer potatoes in my garden in the area that I was growing potatoes last year. So I was putting all the volunteers here by the greenhouse. And after a few months, I'm getting lovely cheated potatoes. Some of them are actually growing quite big. I'm gonna need to dig out this one. But that's what I'm gonna be planting in most pots. I'll see how many I have here. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's enough for 4 or 5 pots. I'm sure I still have some potatoes from last year in the fridge. So here we are with my harvest. I think it's not bad for 7 containers. Almost full bucket of the red potatoes. Quite a nice bunch, all different sizes, mostly medium to large size. Exactly same with the white potatoes, almost full bucket with all different sizes, mostly medium to large. So I think the containers grown potatoes are a success again this year. As I said before, I'm gonna replant all those containers for the late autumn harvest. I have plenty seed potatoes in the fridge, and as I showed you, I have seed potatoes sprouting already next to the greenhouse. So that's gonna speed the things up. But with the weather we're getting nowadays, it's really nice, warm and sunny. They should grow quite quick. I'm not gonna show you how I'm replanting the potatoes. If you wanna see it, I'll put a link somewhere here on the top for one of the previous videos. As I said, I'm just gonna top up the compost with the chicken bedding, and that's all the fertilizer they're gonna get. But yeah, I think that's the container potato harvest 2025 done. I'm happy with that. That's gonna tie me over till the main potato harvest. So I'm not gonna run out of potatoes this year. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for joining me today, and see you soon next time. Bye.